first time ever that we've had whole operations not open for weeks into the semester.
BYU struggles with staffing shortages as fewer freshmen are taking jobs.
We want them to get so excited about BYU and the purpose of the Y while they're here that they want to continue to give back to BYU even after they're gone.
Students hike up to light the Y for the first time since 2020.
UTA is considering building a new UVX station in Provo. Welcome to Universe Live. It's October 6, 2021. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Emily Jones.
Businesses all over the world are still seeing the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Universe Live reporter Alexa Larson is here on campus to tell us about how it's affecting students and faculty at BYU.
Fall semester has been back in session for well over a month now, but this week marks the first week of the semester that all of the restaurants were open in the Cougar Eat. If you've been on campus, you've probably noticed that many of the popular restaurants have been closed or that the vending machines are missing your favorite snacks.
We've had times years past where a single store might have been closed at the very beginning of the school year, sometimes two, but that would be a couple days. This is the first time ever that we've had whole operations not open for weeks into the semester.
This is due to the lack of staff and can be traced all the way back to March 2020 when the COVID-19 pandemic first hit.
We were the ones that lost patrons in the very beginning, where people didn't feel comfortable eating in restaurants or going out. We lost our workforce then.
The pandemic and the changes to daily life that have come along with it have had an impact on how many students feel about taking on new jobs. Royal Weekly, administrator of the Student Employee Success Office, says that statistically around 50% of BYU student staff are freshmen, but that this year the number of freshman students taking jobs on campus is less than what it has been in the past.
We're hearing some of them say, I just want to make sure everything's okay for this semester, and I'm going to be okay with my classes.
A lot of the students are having their first in-person, in-class experience right now, and like Royal said, I think a lot are just simply saying, wait a minute, I want to make sure I have the full academic experience, I want to have the full collegiate experience.
Well, I think we're all hoping that things continue to get more and more back to normal here on campus. Reporting for Universe Live in Provo, I'm Alexa Larson.
Thanks, Alexa. Utah ranks 5th in the nation for the highest rate of job openings per unemployed person. It also has the second lowest unemployment rate in the country.
The Utah gender pay gap still ranks nearly dead last in the United States. In 2021, the U.S. wage gap is that women earn about 18% less of what men earn. In Utah, women earn approximately 30% less than men, ranking close to last in most state comparisons. Estimates suggest that over a 40-year career, the wage gap can amount to a lifetime earnings deficit of $80,000 to $800,000. In a recent statewide poll, Utah women identified low wages and gender role expectations as their two major challenges.
Utah and crime is on the rise. The Utah Department of Public Safety released the 2020 crime report on Tuesday. The study shows this is a true increase in reported crimes, not just due to a growing population. In 2020, more than 79,000 crimes were committed in the state. Homicides saw the biggest increase, raising over 44%. That puts our rate at 3%, still much below the national rate of almost 7%. Property crimes continue to happen at higher rates than the rest of the United States. Porch pirates and vehicle thefts are the main numbers causing this.
Senator Mitt Romney says he will join fellow Republicans to filibuster a planned vote on raising the debt ceiling. The filibuster will prevent the Democratic-controlled Senate from even debating to raise the debt ceiling. Some Democrats are considering options to curb the filibuster. Senate Republicans have blocked votes on raising the debt limit twice in the past 2 weeks. The Treasury Department has warned the U.S. will run out of money on October 18th if legislators do not raise the debt ceiling.
Provo City and UTA are considering a possible UVX station expansion at 900 East. They're inviting interested citizens to attend upcoming open houses and provide their feedback on this new addition. The first open house will be held October 13th at Wasatch Elementary School Gymnasium from 6 to 8 p.m. There will be an additional open house October 20th at the Provo Recreation Center. For those unable to attend an open house, an online survey will be available on the city's Facebook page.
This week, to celebrate BYU homecoming students, were able to hike and light the Y. Universe Live reporter Isabel Brown has more on the story.
Light the Y is hosted by the Student Alumni Association, who strives to connect students with alumni through events like these.
Basically, what we want to do is we want them to get so excited about BYU and the purpose of the Y while they're here that they want to continue to give back to BYU even after they're gone.
One of the oldest traditions at BYU, Light the Y began in 1924 and allows present and past students to reflect on their personal Y and the opportunities offered to them here.
My vision with this event is that we want people to hike and light the Y within. We want them to feel like when the Y is lit, that it helps them recognize what they're doing here at BYU.
Alumni and student volunteers are here to help students board chartered buses and make their way to the Y trailhead.
I'm in front of the Wilkinson Student Center as students line up behind me to load on buses ready to go and hike and light the Y.
It's just going to be a long process of getting everyone up there, and so once everyone is up there and surrounding the Y, turn on all the lights and pretty much celebrate and welcome in homecoming.
This opportunity is a little more precious for students who began their college experience during the pandemic.
I have a friend named Tana Clegg who volunteers here, and she said, "Hey, come volunteer with me," and I said, yes. This is my first time, but my second year at BYU.
Volunteers waited with donuts and hot chocolate for those who completed the hike as drone techs filmed the parade of students up and down the trail.
We just want them to recognize the great opportunity that we have to be at this amazing school.
Thousands of students have been able to reach new heights as they lit the Y. Reporting for Universe Live in Provo, I'm Isabel Brown.
Some farmers are struggling in Utah's most severe drought.
Especially last fall when we saw how dry it was, we knew that this year would be a challenging year.
Find out what methods Utah farmers are using to keep their crops alive.
I was 8 years old when I learned that your belly button is just your old mouth.
We'll tell you what else BYU students have discovered with this TikTok trend.
It's beginning to feel like fall and it's raining now. I'll tell you if this rain will turn into snow.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere, and just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
Attention travelers, next Tuesday a major hurricane will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Water, phone, and internet service will be in short supply. There will likely be panic citywide. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Fall is in full force. You can see it and you can feel it. You are looking at Provo, Utah, Brigham Young University. The clouds are out. The sun is peeking through just a little bit, but all of this rain is really going to help us with the drought that we are having in Utah. For our radar today, I wanted you to see the rain that we are experiencing from this morning and what will happen in the next coming hours. You can see this green, which is that rain in central part of Utah from east to west. It is moving up. And it will come out tonight into more thunderstorms later tonight, but then tomorrow will bring more rain, cooler temperatures until Friday as well. And guess what? Snow's coming next week on Wednesday. For those locations where you can see thunder, you'll be able to see them in Logan, Salt Lake City, Provo, Moab, and Blanding as well. Let's take a look at what's happening today's temperatures. Logan, 70 is your high, 47 is your low. Salt Lake City, 72 is your high, and 54 is your low. Getting cooler at night. You can see these 40s at night, 60s and 70s during the day as well. This is the trend we're seeing right now, but it will get cooler as the week goes on into that weekend. Let's see what's happening in southern Utah for the upcoming week. Thursday and Friday is when you will see your rain. 82 degrees on Thursday and Friday, 73 degrees as well. And then as we move on into the weekend, you'll see more weather as well. Bring a jacket, lots of coldness. Have a good week.
With high heat and limited water, Utah's drought forces farmers to work around the water shortage. Ali O'Rulian tells us more on how farmers balance conserving water while trying and growing their usual produce. Ali?
With different crops having different water needs, Utah's drought may seem like a maze to figure out, but farmers have been getting creative of how they cultivate their crops.
At a fundamental level, plants only need two things: water and sunlight. But in a drought, when the sun's too hot and there's not enough water, local farmers find ways to water their stock both economically and ecologically. According to the National Drought website, Utah County is experiencing the highest levels of drought. This led farmers to approach this year's harvest differently. Tim Crandall is the owner of Crandall Fruit Farms. For him, preparation for the drought began last year.
Especially last fall when we saw how dry it was, we knew that this year would be a challenging year.
He took precautions like renting additional water, using a soil moisture sensor, and removing weeds from his rows. These steps paid off. Not only did he grow the same amount and quality of produce as years past,
We saved about a third to a fourth of the water that we usually use.
at Wilkerson Farms, a variety of crops strewn over 20 acres of land needed to be watered in a variety of ways. Jared Bucknam has been working on the farm since summer. During the crop season, water usage was strictly monitored.
We definitely had to pertain to the watering schedule a lot more.
Crops that needed to be flooded were more difficult to work with, and some produce died out early due to the heat. As the weather cools down and the harvest begins to wrap up, farmers can agree. Being more prepared to conserve water will help you out in the next season.
Farmers around Utah County are currently selling their seasonal crops for the fall time, so make sure to check them out. Reporting in Orem for Universe Live, I'm Ali O'Rulian.
A new trend called Today Years Old is flooding the internet as people share interesting information, trivia, or ironic facts that may be more or less true. Catherine Bennett is on BYU campus here to learn from BYU students.
Ever been shocked by something new that you've just learned? The internet is calling this the Today Years Old trend. So I took to BYU campus to see what weird facts and life hacks BYU students had to share.
I'm Porter, and I was today years old when I found out that BYU's chocolate milk recipe comes from Switzerland and that there are 16,000 gallons of milk available every day on BYU's campus.
And I was today years old when I learned that BYU has a salon on campus.
Today, you're at BYU, you learned something today. You didn't learn anything. He learned nothing.
Some freshman friends shared some tips they've learned during their first few weeks on BYU's campus.
I was today years old when I realized that you can make friends with your RA by giving them cookies.
I learned that you have to pass your cleaning check by vacuuming your sofa.
Some shared information that can change your daily life.
I was today years old when I realized that if you put old pizza in an air fryer, it makes it taste just like new.
The and symbol, like the curly thing, is called an ampersand.
This is Trent, everyone.
Shocked by what you've just learned.
Others' new knowledge makes you question how this information even came about.
And I was today years old when I learned that your belly button is just your old mouth.
Is not important at all.
And I was today years old when I learned that when you're not there, you're square because you're not around.
But entertaining.
I'm Brandon, and I was today years old when I learned that gummy worms have more bones in them than real worms from gelatin.
Whether it's weird, cool, or essential life information, go out and learn something new today. Reporting for Universe Live, I'm Catherine Bennett.
Thanks, Catherine.
Thanks for joining us today for Universe Live. For more information on our stories or to share them with your friends, check out our website at universe.byu.edu.
Have a great day. You know, I was today years old when I learned that if you squeeze the gas to halfway, you'll actually get more for your money because the air bubbles won't be in there.
You're kidding me.
I learned that yesterday.
No idea.